Hey guys, so I wanted to do a quick pregnancy update for you in place of a vlog today because I know people have had a lot of questions. We kind of announced a little bit later, and so I'm sure y'all are wondering like how it's been going, what's been going on, what my symptoms are, and all of that. So let's see. I am 14 weeks and I think 5 days today. Now I am seeing a midwife. We actually are planning a home birth this time, which I'm so excited about. Because of that, we didn't get the early ultrasound. I guess they call it a dating ultrasound, where they kind of estimate by baby size how far along you are. So that's just an estimate based on my last period, but I do think it could be off by a week or two. So who knows there. So yeah, already into the second trimester, which is crazy to me. I don't know, I guess part of me just doesn't really feel pregnant yet. I mean, I do, because I've had a lot of symptoms. I've been really sick, but I don't know, part of it's just still not real. Maybe it's because of the way, you know, we've only had one appointment so far. It just hasn't really like totally sunken in. I'm not sure when it will. It's kind of wild. But let's see. We actually knew before we went on our beach trip that we were pregnant, and that week is the first week I started really feeling bad. Pretty much all week I was just exhausted and a little bit nauseous. I started throwing up in the mornings. Obviously you can't see that, but you could probably tell if you go back and look at our vlogs that I wasn't as active vlogging since then. Let's see, the week we got back from the beach is when we filmed the parody, and I was terrible. 2 days that week, I think I laid in bed all day with headaches and just being so sick. With all of my pregnancies, I've had really bad morning sickness, and usually like I would throw up in the morning and then I'd be fine. I'd feel better once I got sick and I would be okay for the rest of the day. With Adeline, I was kind of nauseous all day for maybe a week or two, but then I went to the throwing up in the morning and then I'd feel sick at night. So it's kind of like that this time, where I had like a week or two of just feeling sick all day long. I've actually been taking diclofenac to help with that, so that is a huge lifesaver. But I still am throwing up in the morning. When I first wake up, as soon as I get out of bed, it never fails. I try to like think about other things, but for whatever reason, I still just get sick. Even essential oils, we use Young Living, so I've used Digize and peppermint and all of those, and they help with the nausea, but just nothing cuts that morning sickness for me. With Tyler, it lasted to 26 weeks. I think Elena was probably around 24 weeks. So with all of them, it was well into the 20 few weeks that I had morning sickness. So now I feel bad in the evenings. I get tired. I've been going to bed around like 7 or 8. Even though I don't go to sleep, I've just been like, all right, John, like kids are in bed, or you know, most of them, and can you handle the rest? I'm going to lay down. I feel really blessed that he has picked up the slack there and been around to help, especially working at home more. He's been a little bit more hands-on when I've needed, so that's been great, because between the sickness and being so tired, it's been a lot. Let's see, starting at probably 12 and a half weeks, 2 weeks ago, I started feeling better slowly. I've got my energy back. So even though I'm still getting sick every day, I feel a lot better. I have a lot more energy. We've been going and doing things. I've been working on decluttering the house, which is great. I'm really thankful for that. I feel like I might stick with some of this morning sickness well into the second trimester, but if I have energy at least and the nausea's gone, I can do that. So that's cool. Cravings. I feel like I'm not having, it's hard to tell for me with cravings, because there are certain things that I like. I eat a lot of the same stuff all the time. I think more than anything, I've had a lot of aversions, or like, I guess you could call it cravings. It's not been a consistent thing. It'll just be like, okay, today, like this sounds good and I have to eat that and I can't think about anything else. But it's not been one specific thing for weeks on end. It's kind of like each day, whether it's Mexican food or, you know, I have to have pasta, but not any one specific item. I think for a while, I don't know, maybe like Chick-fil-A egg and cheese biscuits. That's probably one thing that I've been eating a lot of. With Adeline, I made a lot of the caprese salads, which are like mozzarella cheese, fresh mozzarella, tomato, and then fresh basil and like balsamic glaze on it, which I love those. And I've eaten a few of those, but I'm not craving them like I was with Adeline. With all the other girls, I craved ice. I was a little bit anemic too. My iron was low, so I know that kind of goes hand in hand, but I would just need ice all day long and be chewing on it. So I haven't had that yet. So hopefully that's a sign that my iron is right where it should be, because I've always dealt with a little bit of anemia during pregnancy, and it's always kind of come back up on its own without supplements. It's just, it dips down for a while. But yeah, no ice craving this time. I had a big aversion to sweets up until like a week ago, and then I don't know, I guess maybe since my nausea subsided some, I've been able to enjoy things like chocolate and ice cream again, whereas before it was making me really sick. Like the thought of eating anything sugary made me feel gross, which was great for a while, you know, to kind of cut that stuff out. But that's even at the beach. I went and I bought fudge because there's this place that make fudge there and it's so good. And so I bought some of my favorite peanut butter fudge. I didn't even eat one bite. I couldn't. I was really sad about that. But finally, I'm back to eating sweets. I kind of wish I wasn't, but I am. I think I've gained some weight. I don't know. I'll have to check. I know I've gained a little bit. I'm still fitting in my jeans. They're getting a little bit uncomfortable, although I never really liked jeans, but yeah, I'm still able to fit in them for now, so that's fun. And thankfully I don't have too many other like those yucky symptoms. However, my hair is falling out really bad. Like usually it would fall out postpartum. With all the other girls, it was coming out in handfuls after they were born. But now I'm like losing it during this pregnancy, so that's kind of weird and new. I've never had that happen before. Maybe that means it's a boy, or maybe my hormones are just messed up after breastfeeding Adeline. I'm not sure. So we actually had a midwife appointment scheduled for today, but then we were a little late getting out the door and I missed the exit and it took us way out of the way and we would have been like 45 minutes late. So I called him and rescheduled just so that I wasn't inconveniencing anyone. I think they could have fit me in still, but I just felt bad. So yeah, we will be going back next Friday. So tune into that. That should be fun. I am really excited. So like I said, we're planning on a home birth this time. I'll have to go through and do like the other girls' birth stories. Tyler's was a hospital with an OB and I had an epidural. It was just a really bad. I know that the word I used even in the hospital when I had her was traumatizing. It was kind of a traumatizing experience. Just for me, emotionally, I think it was exhausting. I felt like I got pushed into things or I just wasn't supported. I had no idea. It was just scary. None of our friends had kids at the time and I think I just didn't know what to expect. It was not at all what I thought it would be. So then with Elena, I was determined to go unmedicated and it was a great experience. With Jude, I switched to a midwife, but still delivered in a hospital. And I love that. Her birth is by far probably my favorite. If you check out our card for her birth video, you can see that something about it was so peaceful and so spiritual. It was awesome. So then with Adeline's birth, there was like some drama leading up to it that was really frustrating. I love the midwife who delivered her. It's the same midwife who delivered Jude, but she almost wasn't the one to. We'd come the night before and we ended up going home at 5 a.m. We went to stay in a hotel. I was 6 centimeters dilated because the midwife that was on call that night had upset me and I just didn't even want her to deliver our baby, so I decided to leave. So I came back the next day and that's when my favorite midwife was on call and she ended up delivering Adeline, which was great. It was a great experience in the end, but it was just still rough. So that's what made me decide, you know what, I wanted to have a home birth with Adeline. We just didn't know how to go about doing it. It's hard to find people to watch all of our kids, to go to the hospital for a few days. It's hard to know when to go. For me, I get stalled out at a certain point, and then once my water breaks, it's like 45 minutes. So I don't want to stay at home until my water breaks because then I'm not gonna make it to the hospital in time. But I don't want to go too early to where there's gonna be unnecessary interventions or I'm gonna get sent home. So it's always like just kind of stressful, I think, having to go to the hospital, especially when you have kids that you have to find people to take care of. So this time I said, you know what, John, like, let's just do it. Let's find a midwife that can do a home birth. And I'm so lucky to have found the place that we're going with because they just opened an office that is somewhat close to us, about an hour away. Before that, there are only 2 midwives that are legally allowed to deliver at home and they're always booked. So this has given me that option that probably last year I wouldn't have even had. I'm really excited. We feel really blessed. John's a little bit scared. I'll let him update you guys on that, but he's a little bit freaking out about the idea, but I couldn't be more happy. I love the midwives. I just think it's gonna be peaceful and awesome. Tyler has always wanted to come to the hospital with me and see her sisters being born, so I think it'll be really special if she's able to be a part of this birth. Of course, I'm nervous, so that's a whole nother video. We could talk more about that. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a quick update on how I've been feeling and what's been going on. I guess we have a Q&A video coming up, so we will answer more of your questions there. We love you guys. I gotta go because we are about to film the rest of the parody, which I'm pretty sure I may have possibly broken my finger during last night. Ha ha ha, sounds crazy. The camera fell over, was falling over because Jude ran, we have it on like a slider bar, and Jude ran into it and hit it with her head because Tyler was chasing her. And the thing started falling and John yelled to catch the camera so it didn't fall and I went to catch it and the bar came down my finger. You probably can't see it, but it's all like purplish here. I hit on the top and it's bruised on top, but the bottom's also bruised and it just hurts a lot. So I don't know, maybe my finger's broken. It might not be, it might just be bruised. Pray for that, if you will. I'm gonna go so we can get everything cleaned up and ready to shoot the rest of this parody. Can't wait for you guys to see it. This is John's brainchild and it's really funny and a lot of fun. So I think you'll love it. Again, I will, I guess, update you guys on this little baby bump in a week.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you click the subscribe button to follow along with the Murrays.
Subscribe.